Hi, my name is Laura Schlarman, and the story I'm going to share with you this afternoon is titled My Airport Adventure with Gus. This is a personal story that took place the Saturday before Christmas at Bush Airport in Houston in December of 2003. I woke up that morning extremely excited. It was as if it was already Christmas morning. I couldn't believe I was going to get to see my mom and dad at the airport that afternoon when I landed in Iowa. Gus was all excited too, knew something was up, but was quietly chewing on his bone, watching me race around the apartment, packing last-minute things and making sure we had everything we needed for the trip. Got everything situated by the door. My ride came and picked me up. Next thing I remember is waving at my good friend as she pulled away from the curb. She was so kind to offer me a ride to the airport so I didn't have the added fee of long-term airport parking. Placed Gus in his carrier. Of course, I had to buy the Samsonite carrier because I could only have the best for my weenie dog. Placed his carrier on top of the suitcase and wheeled him through the double doors over to the ticket counter, where I checked through my suitcase and got my boarding pass. At that point, I was feeling pretty good. I was nervous about traveling with a dog because I'd never done that before in an airport, through an airport. I had over one shoulder my carry-on and my purse. The other shoulder I had Gus in his pet taxi. And he was calm. He was quiet. He'd even fallen asleep. So we got to the security line, and it was a mile long. Gus snoozed away as we waited in line. Finally, it was our turn. We got up to the metal detector, got up to the x-ray belt. I took off my purse and my carry-on, put it on the x-ray belt, put my winter coat on the x-ray belt, even took off my shoes and set them up on the x-ray belt. And I remember the TSA worker saying, "Miss, you got to take that dog out of that kennel and carry him through the metal detector." Okay, so I unzipped the pet carrier and scooped Gus out, gave him a little kiss on the head because he was nervous, wondering what was going on. Then the TSA worker said, "Miss, you can't carry him through the metal detector like that. You got to hold him out at arm's length, and he needs to go through first." So we walked through. Of course, in all the chaos, I'd forgotten to take off his collar, and he set off the metal detector. So we went back through, removed his collar, and headed back through the metal detector again. Thankfully, the second trip through, neither one of us set off any bells or whistles. Went over to the x-ray belt and picked up all my belongings. I figured, okay, I'm just going to get us to the gate and I'll get everything situated then. So we took off through the airport. Found our gate, got everything, got my shoes back on, got everything situated. And shortly after that, they started loading the plane. We were sitting at the back of the plane, so we were one of the first to board, thank goodness. Got my carry-on luggage stowed in the overhead compartment, scooched over to the window seat where I was assigned, had my winter coat on my lap, and according to airport rules, you had to place the dog in the carrier under the seat in front of you for takeoff. So that's what I did. Well, that cute, cuddly, quiet little puppy dog that was in the carrier over my shoulder during security was no longer cute and cuddly. He was upset and barking. And the man in front of me even turned around and said, "Excuse me, miss, but do you mind if I ask you what's underneath my seat?" And I said, "Well, it's an irate weenie dog." And he just chuckled and smiled and said, "Thanks for letting me know," and turned back around and sat down. Well, Gus proceeded to burrow inside his kennel and bark and wanted to get out. And people on the plane I could hear him whispering, like, isn't that a dog? Did you hear a dog bark? I think that's a dog on the flight with us." And I thought, oh gosh, I have got to get this situation under control. So all of a sudden the light bulb went off and I thought, oh, I have a winter coat on my lap. So I unzipped his kennel, grabbed him out, quietly put him on my lap underneath my coat, and the fit that he'd worn himself out, and he fell right away to sleep on my lap and slept the entire flight back to Iowa. It was definitely a very merry flight and a very Merry Christmas that year. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.